Hi everyone, welcome to Traci Bautista Color. I'm Traci Bautista. If you are new to me, welcome. I am thrilled you're here. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a little unboxing and a box reveal from my holiday collection. So I just got back from a nice long visit to visit my family for the holidays, and so I am slowly getting back into the studio, and I have lots to share with you, but I thought it would be fun to do an unboxing for my quarterly paint subscription. So if you are a subscriber, let me know in the chat, and if you are not, that's okay. Please say hi and let us know where you are joining in from today. Hey, Elle Williams from Houston. Hey, Judy. Judy's here from Georgia. Hey, Sandra. Nice to have you. And Keitha, welcome. If you're here, please say hi. And if you are a subscriber, let me know if you've been playing with the mixed media collection that you received during the holidays. So this collection is always my most popular collection for the year, and it is a lot of paint that is made. And this year we had a lot that got shipped out right before I jumped on a plane in mid-December, and I am excited to share with you all the colorful pieces in these collections. So most holiday collections, the last couple of years, I've done a special limited edition sugar plum berry collection. And this year I came across, when I was younger, and throughout the last, I don't know, few years, I've seen that production in a few different places. And so I was scrolling through Pinterest one day, and I saw this beautiful costume that was more of like a pastel and more of a I don't want to say subdued, but it was like more vintagey looking sugar plum fairy costume that really inspired a lot of the color choice for this year's collection. Every year it's slightly different, and it has been a lot of fun. This year there was a little bit more pastel kind of pink, and there's really fun aqua vibrant greens. And so I'm going to share it with you, some of the pieces to the boxes. So I'm hoping the box I have has everything in it. These were shipped out in the middle of December, and so I was trying to look through my studio to see if I had actually a box. And so I think I piecemealed everything that I could find, and then I had put some of my pigment bars away in storage, so in a little storing container, and so I think they got kind of all mixed in there, but I think I'll be able to pull through some of them out. And then I have some swatch cards, so you'll get to see some of the watercolors. So in the artisanal box, there is a lot of really fun mixed media supplies. So I have been making handcrafted artisanal watercolors, and for almost 7 years I've been selling them. I've been making them for like 13 years, but I started Traci Bautista Color in 2017. And so in these boxes, there's watercolor, there are WATERMEDIA ink bottles, and there are wax monoprint pastels, and also pigment bars. And then they kind of change every season. So sometimes there may be a different product. It's kind of like whatever I feel like creating for that season. And these newer, there's two newer products, my wax pastels and the pigment bars. I've been making those for the last, the wax pastels are a version of a wax crayon that I've made for years, but the pigment bars are also a wax paint, and I've been making those for the last couple of years. So I'm going to show you those and show you some samples. Hopefully I have some swatches. I realized I didn't really do very much swatching of the holiday collection. I think I might have done a little bit, but I was such in a rush to get going for the holidays that I just got everything shipped out. And then I forgot to bring the paints with me for my trip. And so I did some swatching when I came back. So let's see. Let's see. Sandra says, are there any Sugar Plum Fairy boxes left? Actually, there are. Not boxes, but I will show you what I have in the shop now. There are 2 sets. They're called a winter mix, and there are 3 sets that have a watercolor tile. So it has either the Enchanted Evergreens tile or the Sugar Plum tile, which is somewhere, I think it's behind me. So I'm gonna switch to my camera and I'll show you what those are. But if you go to the homepage of TraciBautistaColor.com, you'll see everything that's available. Those boxes sold out, but there are bits and pieces that I put into these 3 sets. So, okay. So let me just go over, if you're new to me, my subscriptions, there's 3 different subscriptions. There's 2 main ones, and then there's one kind of pop-up one that I have right now. So the kind of like all-in-one everything that I create in a season is the artisanal box. It's the WATERMEDIA Play artisanal box. So that includes all of the different mixed media products. And then there is the pigment bar box, which is a set of pigment bars for each season. And then for this quarter, I have a limited edition ink subscription for 3 months. And so that's January, February, March. And the January box the January set just got shipped. So I'm going to show a little peek into that because I do have a couple of extra sets of those. And I just want to show you all the fun things that you can do. I am going to open some of the things. I may do just like really quick swatching. I'm not, this particular live is not to do like a bunch of swatching. I just posted a video yesterday that has some of the swatching for the new ink collection. So if you missed that, go and watch that after this live. You can see some of the new inks that I've created for this new season. And I'll also give a sneak peek into the color palette that's coming up for the artisanal box. So we are sold out as of now. I may have a couple of spots that might open up in the next week or so. I've got to go through all of the renewals in the next week. But if you've been waiting, if you're on the wait list, then I'll be sending out an email if there are spots that open up for either of the boxes. So I'm going to switch to my studio table and share with you some of these new inks and paints. Okay, hang tight. Okay. I don't know what, somebody outside is honking. There's a bunch of construction going on around my studio, so let's see. I've been gone for a while and have not live streamed, and I feel like all my equipment has moved all over the place. Let's see. Let me grab the box, and these are swatches actually from a bunch of pigment bars that I've designed over the last couple of years. And so I had them all out and I was organizing them. So I created this whole swatch, this little swatch of a bunch of the pigment bars. So that's what you're looking at right there. But I need to grab the box and my glasses. So let me grab those. Okay, so every season there is a really fun set of things that I design, and let me move these out of the way. show you what is in here. Okay. So, inside the boxes, I really should probably, I have these papers here that I keep to keep the underneath clean. Okay, let's see. I just want to make sure I have the chat up. So I stuffed a couple of the extra inks in this box, but inside the artisanal box there were some pigment bars. Let's see what's in here. There was a tile. So inside each collection, I either make a tile or I make little pans, which are watercolor pans. But this year I just did tiles because I love the tile because of a couple of things. You can use them with larger brushes, and let me get this stuff out of the way. And then you have more space to mix. So this is about the amount that's in here. This is the Evergreens, the Enchanted Evergreens colors. And this is about 2.5 full pans of paint, or 3, maybe 3. It just depends. It looks a little different because it's laid out flat, but it gives you a lot more space to play. And that's why I create these bigger tiles. And again, this is about the same amount of paint that you would get in a few pans. But I like to use larger brushes, so that's why I make them this way. And then for the Sugar Plum Fairy collection, I realized that I think I only had this one left, and I can't remember. This is mine, and I think there's a couple of colors that might have also been on here, but again, I think we just sold out of all of them. So this is what I have left. So like I said, it's a lot more pastel, and it's got just these really deep, this deep kind of reddish maroon color, and just some beautiful pastel blue, and they all have a lot of different shimmer and mica inside of them. So I don't know if you can kind of see the silver right there. You can see the shimmer that's in there. And then the Sugar Plum Fairy tile, there's a little 3 swatch tile that's available in the shop. And then there's a bottle of ink that comes with it and a pigment bar. So the pigment bars come in a set of 4. And there was a bunch of different colors this season. And I'm going to just grab a few of them so you can see. So these are the pigment bars. They are made out of plant-based wax, and it is a wax paint that you can use both wet. You can use either heated or cold. And they're usually duotone. One side is a little bit lighter or has a different color than the other, and then some of them are blender sides. So when you use them, one side will be darker and the other one will blend it and create a whole different color. So sometimes there's 3 or 4 colors that are inside of these, but those are some of the colors. Here's another tray of some of the colors also from the holiday set. So inside the artisanal box, if you got them, you got a 4 set of bars. So that is watercolors, the bars, the wax pastels, which I have 1, and then I have a bunch that I put in a box. So there was a set of wax pastels in there, and like I said, I put everything in my tray to store them. So I'm gonna pull out some of those colors that I remember being part of this collection. So there were some kind of pink colors. There was some really pretty lighter mauve color that has a little bit of sparkle on it, and then these have a lot of titanium white in them. So especially these 2, so they really are beautiful over black paper and darker, or even like they really stand out. Like, so this is a gray tone paper, so that's what it looks like on a gray paper. And I have some swatches of these. I'll have to pull them out. And so I repurposed one of my ink bottle boxes to put on my pigment bars, and it actually works out perfectly. So these are some of the bars from the holiday collection and also from the fall collection. So I'm going through my inventory of bars that I've made, and I'm starting to organize them. So some of these are not in order, but more of the holiday collection. Here is one of the purples that was in that collection too. So I don't know if you can see it in the camera. It's got that really pretty pastel color, and then I think there's a gray. Well, you're not gonna be able to see it very well because this is gray, but there's a gray there, and I think there was a green. I think this is one of them. It's like a gray green, which I don't know if you can see that. Well, actually, that's similar to that color. So those are some of the wax pastels that were part of that collection, and they're lovely using them dry, like, or just like regular, like this, like a drawing tool. I'm just gonna color on here since it's already down here. This is Canson XL sand grain paper. So it has like a little tooth to it. And I'll just show you a few of these colors here. And if I turn around the other side, so you get a little bit of a lighter color. So they're beautiful because you can mix them. But the beauty of these really is also using them. See how creamy they are when they're heated. And then this one is really pretty. It's got, like, you can see here, this side has a little bit of titanium white in it mixed with a couple of other green pigments. But when you mix it, you can see some of the white coming out. And so this one you get like 3 or 4 or 5 different colors inside. And every bar is one of a kind. Because they're hand poured, every bar is going to be completely different. So again, you've got a little bit darker purple kind of, I don't know, periwinkle. And then a tint of it on the other side with that. So those, I should use this side. Which side did I use on here? That side has a little bit of a darker. So those are some of the colors. Let's see. There was also kind of a peachy color. Well, you can kind of see it in there, but I don't think you're going to see it on this paper. Let me see if I can find one that's, here it is. me pull my box up again. So I heat these when I do use them heated. I use a griddle to heat them up, and I'm going to be teaching that in my my ink and wax class that's coming up. So here is one of the peachy colors that was in there, and I think there was also this kind of mauve-y. This one has some of the peach like mixed into it on there. So sometimes it's hard to see the color on this paper because one side might be a little bit more transparent. And let's see if there was any. I made probably about, I don't know if this is one of them, 20, I mean, not 20. I think I made about, I don't know, maybe 15 different colors. And actually I should pull out the little swatching that I did for those. And I think this was probably similar to the one I swatched already over there. And again, they're going to look different on every type of paper. So I always encourage you to experiment with lots of different papers. Let me show you some of the swatches for the, I need a paper towel, for the watercolors. Let's see, anybody have questions so far? Here's a watercolor towel that I used already. Oh, the lastly are the inks. So there was a few different inks that were part of this. I think there was, I'm trying to think of which ones, because there was some kind of vintagey maroon with a little bit of a gold, like a kind of a copper sparkle. And then there was a couple of different greens that were part of this collection. Here's one. And then a shimmer sheer, that's this like really beautiful turquoise, but it has like a little bit of mica that is this gold flake. And all the bottles come with hand-painted labels. They're all made in small batches. So those are some of the inks that were part of that collection. And I'm going to show you. Let's see what else was in here. I'm not sure what this is. I can't remember. I think this might be more pigment bars. Yeah. So some of the sets, depending on what you ordered, there were some sets that had, this was not part of the artisanal box. I think this might have been one of the holiday sets, I think. But there are also tools. So in every order, I have bonus tools that I put in there, and there are a bunch of different things that I love using. So this is one of my favorite sponges that I use to paint with, and another type of sponge that I would love. And then this is the blunt needle syringe. So that's sometimes in there, and sometimes most of the time there are these pipettes, which I love. You can draw and paint with these tools, all of these. And so those come as a little bonus. Inside here, let's see what's in here. I can't remember. This might have been for the Enchanted Evergreens, because that was an Enchanted Evergreen tile. Yeah, it is. So these were some of the greens that were in that collection. So there's a little 2 set of pigment bars that you got in that special limited edition holiday gift box. But inside of the artisanal box, there was 4 bars. Okay, let's see. Let me show you some swatches, and then maybe I'll do one swatch after I show you. So with this collection, you can do some really fun things. So this is a wax resist using the pigment bars and the wax pastels, where you scribble down on the paper first with the wax mixed media products, and then do a wash over the top, and so the wax will act as a resist. This is the Evergreens palette, the Enchanted Evergreens palette. I have a little video that shows how I painted all of these. So that's what this little tile is, or actually it's not a little tile, it's a big hexagon. So you get 5 swatches that are on this. Some of them have 6. For 3, this tile has 3, and then there are, the Enchanted Evergreens has anywhere from 4 to 6, I believe, swatches on it. So this one, I just love all of the different colors. I don't know if you, oh, there, you can see right there, the gold that's in that. That's this really beautiful gold color. And then this is the ink, this is the tile with one of the inks, one of the holiday inks. And this one is beautiful. This color here, which it looks like a flat kind of gray, but then if you turn, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in this light, it's actually really sparkly, and I can't tell right now because it's so dark in my studio, but you can kind of see the shimmer like that on the side when I turn it sideways. But these are just really simple swatch cards I made with a bunch of my favorite dagger striper brushes, and then there's little bits of the wax pastels and pigment bars on the sides of this one. And again, another pigment bar resist here, and then painting over it with some of the ink. And I think this one also has, is it this one? One of these has, I think actually this one, I can't remember. One of these has this in it too, the purple and the gray that's in here. It might have been this one. It's hard to tell. There's some gray like right there, silvery gray. And I also, all these skinny lines here, I use the little blunt nose. And then this is the holiday pigment bars and wax pastels, just a little swatch card of them together. So when you're playing with any of my paints and inks, I really encourage you to make these swatch cards, because it gives you an idea of how all of the paints and inks work together and what they do when you mix and match them all together. So I'm going to grab, I'll do 1 or 2 quick swatches. What paper do I have here? This is oil. These are oil painting papers. Here, let me get some mixed media paper. So I have some mixed media paper here, and I think this is a watercolor paper on this one. And I have some of the paints and inks there. And let me grab a brush or 2. 2 of my favorites, the Black Velvet from Silver Brush and the Golden Natural Dagger Striper. Both these are dagger stripers, just a little bit different in the way they lay down color. But, can you see this? Oh yeah, good. Let's get a little color down here. I'm going to use, actually, I'm going to use this tile since I already used it, and just do a little bit of swatching on here. Let's see. Let me do just a little wet on wet. So I'm going to create these like little floral pieces and drop some color in here. Hopefully get into the wet areas. And clean off this brush on a piece of paper. I always like to have another journal out or sketchbook out to clean off my papers. Like I said, I forgot to bring all my art supplies to Hawaii, so I ended up buying a bunch of things, and I actually discovered these random mixed media sketchbooks at Ben Franklin, of all places, there, and ended up getting this sketchbook, which actually ended up turning out to be not a bad purchase. So this one has this beautiful purple kind of very, has a lot of white in it, so you can see how it pops over at the top. The lighting in here, it's getting darker, so the lighting is not the best right now, but you can see that. Let's do a little bit of the sparkle that's in here and pull some of this on here. So a little quick bouquet with these flowers, or with these paints. I want to show you, let me show you just a really quick swatch. Let me clean this off here. Let me put this here so you can kind of see the colors of this set. This is like a silvery color with a little purple kind of undertone on there. And then the nice thing is too, when you mix it with the other colors, you can get some really beautiful mixes of the colors too. I keep cleaning this off on the paper just so I don't waste the paint. And then there's this beautiful, I used a lot of this doing some of my swatching earlier. So I don't know, you're not going to be able to really see it here, but once it dries, there's this beautiful shimmer in that color. It's got this really, let's see, can you see it if I turn it? No, gotta wait till that dries. But once it dries, you'll get to see some of that color pop out. So this Sugar Plum Fairy, there was also this was part of the collection too. This one over here, which got a bit looks more orange. I think I mixed it with something else. So there is that color. And then I'll just do a few of these greens so you can see some of the greens that were here. So this was the Enchanted Evergreens that was in the holiday set. I'm going to mix it with some of the gold that's there. And this gold is so pretty, and when you use it to kind of accent your colors, it's pretty by itself, but when you use it over the top like I did in this piece here, you can really see that like gold shimmer when I turn it towards the light there. And then let's just do one of these other greens that's on here. This one also has a really beautiful shimmer when it dries. So most of these have some type of mica in them. I think one of the colors does not. I can't remember which one it is. It might have been this one here. It's got a little bit more of a tinted green. There's a little bit of white inside this color. So you can see how it's got that sagey kind of color. Let's grab some of this darker green so you see that. Kind of still had that other green on my brush, but that one's really pretty too. In the light, in the camera, these look similar, but they're actually all different colors, so it's hard to see because, like I said, it's getting dark here in my studio. So that's just some of the swatches for the holiday collections. Before I go, I want to show you the inspiration for the new collection. This is one of my inspiration mood boards. So I always take photos of just all kinds of things that inspire me, but these were shells that we found on the beach, and I thought this would be perfect because I really wanted a subtle kind of wintry pastel wintry palette. And so I pulled some of these really beautiful pinks and some of the taupe colors. There's a really beautiful blue in there. But this printout is not very good because I need to change my printer ink, so it's not as vibrant. But this is some of the inspiration. You can see in the video, I put some photos in the new video I posted yesterday that has inspiration for the upcoming Ocean Whisper collection. So the inks that were released are these inks. So there are 4 of them. And you can go and watch the video to see me swatch these out, but they're really pretty. There's this new textured pink ink. And so when you see it, most of the inks, they have the mica that it settles at the bottom because that's just what happens. And all you have to do is just give it a few twirls and then it will mix right up. Same with this. So you can always see at the bottom kind of what the mica color is going to look like, and then you can mix it up. Different papers will result in different ways of how the colors will granulate and the chromatography will come out. And this is the 4 inks together, kind of just playing wet on wet, and same with this one. Judy says, that pink is gorgeous. Thank you so much. And she said, love those greens. Hey, Jessica. Nice to see you. And then I have some videos I'm going to be sharing over the next few weeks that show some of the techniques for how I created all these swatches. But these swatches that I'm showing you right now are all from this new set of inks. So there are, if you're not in the subscription, the WaterMedia ink subscription, you can grab this 4 set in my shop now. I think there's a handful of them left. I sent an email out to my list yesterday, and that pink is inside of this set. I always have, my inks are not sold separately. They're sold in these collections so that you get the entire collection when you buy them. So I talk more about these swatches in the video I posted, but here's just some of the artwork that I created with that. So you can see how it's got this beautiful wintry color palette inspired by the seashore and the seashells that I just showed you the pictures of. And then in the light, you can't see it here. Oh, there, you can see that top shimmer really well. But all of these have a little bit of shimmer. The top one has a little bit, it has the most, I think, out of all of them. So that is the new Ocean Whisper palette, and that will be the same theme for the artisanal box that ships and the pigment bars that ship in March. So I have a pre-order for a mini collection. So if you're interested in that, then definitely head over to Traci Bautista Color. I think there's a link in the description also. You'll be able to see. I'm gonna see if I have little swatches inside here that I can show you really quick. I brought my paint making journal. It's been sitting on my lap. So let's see. Inside, I don't want to get things on here. I wanted to see if I had some of the colors. So here are some of the colors from this is the holiday collection down there. Those are all of the, I think, wax pastels and some pigment bars down there. And then the swatches of the colors, this is what they look like on watercolor paper. So there's some of the greens with some of the wax pastels over those little lines, or the wax pastels, because I wanted to see how the colors would pop on top of them. And then here's some more of the Sugar Plum Fairy colors that are right there. So that's some of them. And maybe in another video, I'll show you the wax pastels when they're heated, because they look so different. I did some sampling of them when I was making them. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can grab them really quick. Let's see. Suze says, I can't wait to get the new ink. It's really stunning. Thank you. So Suze, if you're part of the WaterMedia ink subscription, then you should have received it by now, unless you're international. Let me see if I can find some of these before I go. So, I think this is some of the holiday collection. What does this say on it? I write notes on these things and then I can't really read them half the time. So, these are some of what the pigment bars and the wax pastels look like when they're heated. So you get some really like opaque colors when you use them when they're heated. And in my new wax and ink class, I'm going to be sharing that. Here are some more samples too of pigment bars that from the Sugar Plum Fairies collection. So dry and then heat, or cold, just regular like drawing with them. And then when they're heated, some of the wax pastels and the pigment bars. So you see the difference. You get this beautiful kind of more transparent mark when you use them just as a mark making tool. And then when you heat them up and draw with them or use a paintbrush, you can really get some beautiful, like nice opaque layers of color. You can also get transparent layers of color too, depending on how much wax is in the color itself. So here are some more of the colors from the Sugar Plum Fairy collection. So I thought I would just share those. Oh, and then this is also holiday. So this is the Enchanted Evergreens pigment bars. So definitely I encourage you, if you have some kind of tool that can heat up the pigment bars, whether it is a, let me come back to the camera really quick. Whether it's a, like a griddle, or even if you have like an old quilting iron or a travel iron that has no steam holes, anything like that will work to heat them up. But I prefer using a griddle, or if you have like an encaustic hot plate, which I also have one of those that I built I don't know, probably like 10 years ago when I wrote Printmaking Unleashed. So I have a hot plate that where I plug it in and then it heats up. It has aluminum on the top, and then I can draw right on top of it. Those are some of the tools I use to heat up the wax pastels and the pigment bars. They're so much fun to use, both cold and hot, but I really love seeing how they layer, and you can mix encaustic paint into them or encaustic medium to use with encaustic painting. So that is a little overview of the holiday box. So every quarter there's a new box. The next box will be delivered in late March, and it takes a while because everything is handmade. The labels are hand painted, and then we hand package everything. So there are a lot of pieces to the puzzle to get these out out all over the world. And so if you want to become a subscriber, there will probably be spots opening up, definitely for the pigment bars. There may be a couple of spots for the artisanal box, but when I create a collection, sometimes I have extra, or I pre-sell a smaller like mini collection. So there is a mini collection and the inks that are available in the shop now for the Ocean Whisper collection. So that will be the next one that comes in March. So I'll be sharing more sneak peeks behind the scenes. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see more little behind the scenes in my stories. I don't post on my feed. I actually haven't posted on my feed since 2022, which I probably should change that. But I do post on my stories a few times a week, so you can always see kind of behind the scenes. And make sure to join my email list if you're not on it already and you're interested in the paints and inks. There's a lot that I share in my email list, and you can get to all of those things at tracibautistacolor.com. And there's a bunch of links in the description of the video too. So thank you everybody for joining me, and I hope that your new year is getting off to a great start and you are enjoying 2024, whether or not you set art goals or not. I encourage you to spend some time and play in your sketchbook or art journal and just have fun. If you have my products, feel free to tag me at Traci Designs on Instagram and use the hashtag Traci Bautista Color when you share. If you share an unboxing or you share anything that you created, I love to see what you create. So thanks so much, everybody. I will see you again. I'll probably do another live soon. So if you are subscribed here on YouTube, you'll get a notification if you hit that little notification bell. Okay, everybody, take care. Happy New Year. Happy 2024. Bye.